I'm the Maybell officer based out of Craig. I cover units 2, 201, and the western portion of 3. I'll start off with 201 and work my way eastward. 201 is one of the premier trophy units or quality units for elk, deer, and pronghorn. And start off with the elk. It's a smaller unit. It's the most sought after for points in Colorado. It's taking upwards of 22, 23 points to draw it. And that point creep is going up every year. The potential for a really good bull is there just due to the low pressure. We have very low tags for archery and muzzleloader, and very low tags for the one either sex elk season that we have starting in early October. What I tell folks about Unit 201 is that go to the center of the unit and kind of start making your way outwards, looking for elk. There's elk all over Middle Mountain, Diamond Peak, as well as Cold Springs Mountain, which is the largest mountain in the unit. The most popular areas are going to be that Middle Mountain and Diamond Peak area. People really seem to focus on that, but hunters have really good success all over on Cold Springs Mountain, and I try to send guys there. It's a little bit rougher country, really rocky, but the elk do hang out in there quite a bit. Public access is really good. There's a lot of public access around there, including private lands that are leased out by us for the hunting rights. Some of those are seasonal. There's a lot of good trails around, a lot of ATV trails, a lot of truck access, a lot of good camping areas all throughout the BLM. And there's also a lot of good state trust land. It's probably about 50% state trust land, about 40% BLM land, and about 10% private land in the entire unit. The potential for elk you're looking at every year, good bulls are taken out of it, but I also tell guys if they see that 350 bull, that's probably the one that might be the one that they have to shoot. As far as deer goes, it's taking a lot of points for a resident, upwards of 15 points to draw a tag. There is a 4th season tag, which is a benefit, but there's only 3 tags there. The reason for the points being is that there's very few deer tags. The quality of bucks is good, but if you're looking for that 200-inch buck, you may not find it if you're looking up there. Once again, same thing with the access about getting around, a lot of good places to hunt. You'll glass up a lot of deer. The deer are pretty easy to find in Unit 201. As far as pronghorn goes, it's a dual unit with Unit 2. At least for the buck pronghorn. As far as the does, you can only hunt in 201. The base of our pronghorn herd up there right now is that you'll find most animals in Unit 201. There's still quite a few animals around in Unit 2, but Unit 2 is a very big unit, and it's going to be hard to find them, or not hard to find them, but they're just very scattered. You can still glass up a lot of bucks. Trophy potential, if you're looking for that 17-inch buck, you may not find it, but there's still some really good bucks to be had. Low pressure. In Unit 2, there's a lot of BLM ground, especially where the antelope are hanging out. In 201, same thing with the access. You're going to find the majority of them in the Beaver Basin area, though, kind of down set in the middle. You do find the antelope around the outer edges of Beaver Basin, and then up north around the Whiskey Flats area. That's along the Wyoming border. You'll find quite a few pronghorn. You'll find another good concentration of pronghorn in Unit 2 north of Powder Wash and along the border with Wyoming. And once again, access is really good. There's a lot of ATV roads, a lot of truck access, a lot of county roads. Antelope are fairly easy to spot, so you just need to take your time and glass a lot of them. Going back to elk and deer, the main point, especially for elk, is that don't shoot the first thing you see, but also be realistic with expectations. Deer quality is probably about the 170 mark. In Unit 2 for elk, it's about the same popularity with 201, slightly less, and there's going to be a lot of elk around, but once again, take your time and really hunt hard for that once in a lifetime opportunity and draw on the tag when it takes you 20 plus years to draw it. One of the more popular areas to hunt for elk is on the Douglas Mountain area, and that's where a lot of guys concentrate. But if you get up into the sandwash area, there are a lot of elk that hang out in the sagebrush year-round. The key to finding those is water, and a lot of good bulls are taken out of the sagebrush every single year, and since it's a larger area, you're going to have less competition. As far as deer's a difficult, or Unit 2 is a difficult place. There's a lot of guys like to go to the Lookout Mountain area or the Limestone Ridge to the south of Douglas Mountain. It's a popular area for the locals because they tend to know where the deer are at, and it can be tough for non-residents or people who aren't able to scout it very well. Every year guys can come up with good bucks. I would say the quality in Unit 2 is probably better than in Unit 201, but they're just a lot harder to find. You can still glass up a lot of deer, but it's just a lot of time behind glass. Once again, access the same, four-wheel drive roads, ATV roads, and sandwash area. If you get any sort of moisture, you may not want to be there, and you should probably carry tire chains, especially towards the later seasons. Third season, there is no fourth season in Unit 2, but second and third season are still very popular, and the quality of bucks is pretty good. On the western portion of 3, that's around it's just north of Maybell, the Godiva Rim area, extending out to the Little Snake River. It's a migratory herd. It's not a quality unit. It's a unit that is dependent on the migration patterns of the elk. There are a few select locations where the elk will hang out year-round, but they're very small populations, and most people that hunt there are waiting for that big migration to happen from the east, from Black Mountain, and once they get out east with that weather, it can be really good elk hunting. I say if you see a legal bull, you better shoot it, because there's not very many quality bulls. You're going to see, of the legal bulls, you're going to see a lot of small 4 and 5 points, and that's if the elk move through. As far as antelope in Unit 3, it's one of the highest antelope populations that we have in Colorado. We have it as an opportunity unit. We do have good bucks. It is taking a lot of points to draw it, but that's because our tag numbers in the past few years have been down. Expectations for the size of buck you'll see is, if you see a 14-inch buck, that may be the best buck you see. A lot of guys go home with 12 or 13-inch bucks, despite putting in for 13 or 14 years. Doe hunting is pretty basic for the antelope. For deer's it's going to be quite a bit easier to draw. You can draw with maybe 1 point in the second season, maybe 2 points in the third season. Fourth season is the kind of premier unit. That's when the big bucks tend to come out during the rut. That can take upwards of 10 points to draw. There are good deer to be had. We have a really good population out there, and it can depend on the previous winters we've had, but deer population is still excellent out there. As far as elk goes, I would concentrate on the Godiva Rim area, or even south down into Unit 11, along the Little Snake River. That's where the kind of core population is resident.